I got so much motherfucking design on right now.
Break it down, bring it back, make it clap. I got 3 old thoughts, new guap, wear that damn. Bitches on my line, and you know they come straight.
Ayo kita jalan dulu, gengs.
Jalan sambil jalan.
Iya, jalan mau kemana nih?
Studi. Hai guys, kami dari UAD.
Iya.
Kami dari WM-nya nih, lagi di
Iya.
WM-nya.
Dari
Muter
kelompok
dong,
berapa?
muter dong. Kelompok 8 guys, senggol dong.
Iya, senggol dong.
Kami mau wawancarain mahasiswa asing.
Iya panas banget di sini, aduh.
Mahasiswa asing dari Pakistan. Dan perkenalkan, nama aku Imari.
Iya.
Aku Adira. Aku Nabila.
Aku Sandi. Aku Muhammad Alfat Putra Rizky.
Stay tune ya.
Peace.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, kami dari kelompok 8. Kami dari Prodi Ilmu Komunikasi Universitas Ahmad Dahlan akan mewawancarai salah satu mahasiswa asing dari UMY. Okay. Please introduce yourself first.
My name is Yunus.
Oh, okay.
Nama saya Yunus. I know little bit of Bahasa. Yeah.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Pakistan. And so, there is a northern part in Pakistan which is a mountainous area. It's called Chatran. So I'm from that valley.
How long you have been in Indonesia?
Almost 2 months. I came to Indonesia on the end of the September this year. Yeah, for almost 2 months I'm in Indonesia.
This year.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah, this year.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever experienced anything you unpleasant while in Indonesia?
Unpleasant.
Yes.
Which is, I think, unpleasant. I don't want to say unpleasant because I don't want to be, because it's not a negative thing. But I feel that the language barrier, I guess, this is the most difficult part for me here, because even for the lectures, for the classmates, I have to communicate with the teachers. I find difficulty because they don't understand English correctly. So, but it's not a big issue for me because the same kind of thing foreigner will also face in Pakistan also. So the language barrier, I will say that it affected me, but overall, but it's not a negative thing. It's not like unpleasant, but it's just a different experience. That how and with this experience I also learned more, because with talking, then how to communicate, learning new language. So initially it was difficult for me, but right now I am very much happy that this thing happened to me, because then I started to learn a new language, Indonesian, and I started to then learn a new ways to communicate with people. Yeah. So language barrier will be a different thing. It's not unpleasant, but it's a different. I faced it. Yeah.
Do you find it difficult to communication with native Indonesian student?
Did I find?
Do you find it difficult to communicate with a native Indonesian student?
It's difficult, but I think the best thing here is that everyone is fully aware of the technology. They know, they have the smartphones. They know how to use the social media. So most of the time, even the shopkeepers, in the restaurant, in the shops, so they have Google Translate. So which is a big thing, I think, because it's not very common in Pakistan. If a person don't know how to communicate, he will not able to communicate. But here they have a alternative. Like if they don't understand English, they will open Google Translate and tell me to type, and they read it. Oh, you wanted to say this.
How
So
about in Pakistan?
Yeah. So in Pakistan, majorly people like in institutions, in jobs. So people, so English is a preferred language. So people use it for the communication. But in common, very few people will know the language, but
To know English.
yeah. So even if they have to use the Google Translate, because it will be difficult, because like your language, you use the grammar of English alphabets, right? A,
Yes.
B, C, D, yeah. But the national language is Urdu. So the Urdu has a completely different grammar.
Yes.
So they cannot type in English. So because it's like Arabic, alif, be, te, right?
Oh, I
So
see.
that is why the communication becomes difficult. Yeah.
What do you think about Indonesian language?
Indonesian language, firstly, I didn't understand, but when I taken the understanding of Indonesian language, it seemed, yeah, it's a very good language, and it's easy to learn. It's a good thing that I started to find some languages. So I started to when I started to learn the language, so I don't have to learn the all grammar first. So it's a good thing that you use the English alphabets. So that is why I feel that it's a good language that easily a person, if he wants, he can easily learn. So that is why I slowly developed my skill in Indonesian language. So inshallah I will able to learn the whole language.
Have you been learn Indonesian language all in 2 months?
I learned some of the words like how are you is apa kabarmu,
Yes.
I'm fine is saya baik,
Yeah.
what is your name is siapa namamu, my name is nama saya Yunus, like I have to introduce you to nama dia,
Yes.
like this, and see you, sampai jumpa,
Sampai jumpa, yes.
yeah. So it's like terima kasih, like so many words. So I'm so difficult part is that we have to memorize some words, but like how you say we in Indonesia, how we say yes in Indonesia. So the memorization is taking time. Otherwise, the speaking of the language is not very difficult. The pronunciation is fine.
Why did you choose UMY?
UMA, because my background in bachelor's was computer science, and I've been
Computer
working in
science.
the software houses as a business analyst for almost 2 years. So I wanted to study a subject which combined the business side and also the technology side. So for that I started to find out the program in public administration. But the most of the universities which I search, which is the mostly are in European and North American countries. So they either it is pure technological course, or it's either will be pure business side course. So there is no balance between them. So then I come up with this program. Someone suggested me. So this program, I actually feel that it's a good program for me because it connected the public administration side and also the technology side also.
I see.
So in this type of program, I never find. I searched so many universities, but I cannot find the same type of program.
Here.
So it's like it will be, you can say, it's a unique type of program. No other universities providing the same kind of curriculum structure, which combining the digital automation, the technological part, and public administration part. That is why then I choose this government science program in UMI because of this uniqueness in the world.
The unique.
Yeah, it's very unique. Yeah.
Do you feel happy studying at MBA?
Yeah, I'm very much study. So initially, if I have to be honest, I was initially very skeptical about Indonesia, because as I said, not many Pakistanis are being in Indonesia. So many are in Malaysia. In Malaysia, there are so many Pakistanis, but in Indonesia, very few amount of Pakistanis are there. So that is why when I got the offer and when I asked the people I should go it or not, so most of the feedback was negative, like because I don't blame them, because they also heard from someone else. because nobody was actually been in Indonesia, so they are not very. So at the end, I discussed with them, and then I take a chance. I said to my family, let me go to there. It's maybe it will be a good or bad. It will be an experience for me. I able to learn something. But when I come to Indonesia, so my whole perspective was all changed, because and I'm glad that I didn't listen the opinions of other people, and I decided I should not come back to Indonesia. And I'm glad that I taken this decision, and I'm very happy because of the environment here, and because there is other than the language barrier, there is no issue for me to adjust here. Like people are like you, people are very much good to me. They are very supportive. They if I ask something, if I needed help, they if I needed 10% help, they give me 100% help.
Oh, yeah.
So people are very good to me. So that is why my whole perspective was changed, and I'm glad that I'm in Indonesia, and I'm very happy to be in Indonesia.
Why did you choose Indonesia, not Malaysia or other countries, or
Yeah.
maybe not going to Europe or America?
Yeah. So the decision was actually, as I mentioned, was related to the course I have taken. So I target the course, the master's program which combines public administration and the digital technology side. So I didn't find, as I said, I didn't find the same kind of program which balance both the things. So that is why I find only one program in Indonesia. And when I decided that there is no other program in other countries, so I have to choose this program. Then I dig down further about the research on how what is the Indonesia, how the quality of education. So it's actually the decision relates to the program which I selected, and it happened to be in Indonesia. So that is why I choose to be in Indonesia, not in any other countries. Yeah.
Is this your first time in Indonesia, or
Yeah, first time.
It's first time.
Yeah, it's first time.
Oh,
Yeah, even if I have to say, like the area I am from, the valley, the Chitral, because in even my circles, I didn't know anyone who been to Indonesia. So it's like I'm the first from the whole area.
in your circle.
In my circle, in my in my valley, in my village, I think I will be the first one who will be in
First one in
Indonesia.
Indonesia,
Yeah.
in your village.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What place have you visited in Yogyakarta?
The places. One was, I don't know, I'm saying the name correctly. There is Tambi language, Tambi village. Tambi village. Tambi village. I don't know. It's 30 to 1 hour drive from here. So it's like a small resort. So we went there. Second place I visited was, what's the old King Palace?
King Kraton. It's called it Kraton.
Yeah, the monument, the old where the king used to, the
Yes.
king of Yogyakarta.
Yes.
Well,
Call
people
it-
go and visit. Yeah, I went to there. Yeah. So these two places I have been right now. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your wanting us to interview today. I'm very grateful for you.
No, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yes. Maybe we're not bothering you.
No, it's fine. I'm more than happy because people helped me, so I'm very much happy to help other people also. Yeah, so it's not an issue.
Thank you.
Okay, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay. Thank
Maybe
you.
that's it for interview today.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you say thank you and goodbye to
Uh,
our
Thank you and sampai jumpa.
Sampai jumpa.
Yeah.